We want to talk about Danielle Hunter, but we got to figure out first of all what the hell is your organization doing? What is the plan here in the offseason, Pete? It's confusing.
Yeah, it is, and you know you wanted to trim the salary cap as we always say, and I think you take a look at what we have lost in Tomlinson, who's a very, very good defensive lineman, Za'Darius Smith, who a great third down interior pass rusher and a really good outside linebacker. And then now, Dalvin Cook. Well, Dalvin Cook and Za'Darius Smith, I think, represented they were the toughest guys that we had on offense and defense. I mean, Dalvin for sure has, he's just got that attitude. He's a winner. He's a fighter, man. And same thing with Za'Darius. And, to lose that attitude and the playmaking ability that both those guys have, that's a big loss, because it's like, what have we replaced it with, right? And not much you can point to that's known. Can Alexander Madison do that? Well, we'll see. It's just an unknown. I love him. He's a great guy. He's one of my favorite Vikings, but we just don't know what we're going to get out of him. We don't know what we're going to get over on the other defensive end side. And then now, Danielle Hunter getting in the mix, and there might be a little bit more, I think, to that story than just the contract side of things, but we'll see.
Like what?
Well, I think we don't really know what Flores is going to run defensively, because keep in mind, he was a defensive signal caller in New England before he became head coach. So he never was a standalone defensive coordinator in a new town, new system, or, a new team where he was able to call the shots kind of like he is now. So we're not really sure if he's going to be, a true 3-4 like they are in New England, kind of a hybrid 3-4, four-man front, bear front, that kind of thing that they have done in Miami, or they did do in Miami when he was there. But, the defensive coordinator, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he was also a New England guy as well. So, and I think all of that is very important, because if the Vikings are going to put a value on Danielle Hunter as a 3-4 outside linebacker, it's not going to be as much as he, I think, could get as a 4-3 defensive end. I think he would provide your scheme in Chicago as a true 4-3 type defense much more. He would fit that scheme better. I think he'd play better. I think he would just enjoy and want to be in that scheme more than to be a true outside, 3-4 type, outside linebacker. So we don't know though what defense we're going to run. Of course, people over at the facility over at TCO, they know exactly what they're going to run. So that might be part of it. That might be part of the leveraging point. I don't know, but we'll see. But bottom line is this: the guy's one hell of a good pass rusher, and again, another playmaker. You lose if you lose Za'Darius and then turn around and lose Danielle, you just lost your two sack leaders on a defense that was 31st in the NFL. So how does that sound?
Well, see, Pete, that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. Like, we're talking to Pete Bercich, Vikings analyst.
You guys aren't making me feel any better about this. I don't know.
Well, I got to be honest. Like,
sure, I'll call in. Sure, I'll call in and review all the things that are going wrong.
Just take your pounding.
Thanks for answering our call.
Pounding, Pete.
Anyway.
Well, it's never happened before. No team has ever won 13 games but been outscored on the season. Like the Vikings
by a lot too. By the way, I think we were. That number came out, and I think we were like 27th or 28th in the league as far as plus minus goes.
Oh,
we weren't just barely in the negative. We were like 67 or 70 points in the negative. It was unbelievable. It was either win by, and in all fairness, two seasons ago, we had lost 8 or 9 games by one score. So we weren't that far off. And you turn around and you break an NFL record with one score victories. But when you decided to lose, holy cow, we just, they were blowouts. So, yeah, it was to say it was an odd season is kind of an understatement. But still, to come out and win 13 games, that's good. Yeah, you guys haven't. When's the last time you guys won 13 games?
It's been a while. Hey, we're talking about you right now, Pete. We're talking about you. Okay, let's stay focused here. So I guess the question that I have from all of that is do the Vikings believe that they were a 13-win team or a team that got outscored on the season? Do they believe that they are good?
Well, I'm sure they do. And they have and they have that confidence. And it's one thing if it's just a fluke, right? If you don't have, I think some of the numbers to put behind it. But I think when you take a look at the season that Justin Jefferson had, the numbers that Kirk Cousins had. I mean, I would say Dalvin Cook as well, but he might just be in Chicago next year for all we know. But with his playmaking ability and this team, just never really given up. And I don't want to call it fluky because this has been 2 seasons now. We've won a lot. First year we lost a ton of games by 1 score, and then we won a bunch of games by 1 score. And the feeling was a little different. Even 2 years ago when we would get out ahead, or we would just, we wouldn't capture a lead till third quarter, and by that time the offense was just plain wore out and the defense had nothing left. Whereas, last year, these games are all close, and when the games are close, the team made enough plays, to win the game. So a little bit of a different feeling, but yeah, this is not the time of year where you want to be wondering about lost parts. You want to be, worried about or thinking about the new toys that you're going to get. And right now, not a lot has happened.
Well, we're admiring one of your toys as a possible new one. So Pete Bercich, color man for the Vikings, let's ask from the Bears' perspective. They need a veteran pass rusher. Frank Clark is gone to Denver. Leonard Floyd is gone to Buffalo. Yannick Ngakoue might want to sign with a contender. Should the Bears trade for Danielle Hunter? As a person, as a player, would you endorse that?
Let me say this first. We had Yannick Ngakoue, and he didn't last out with us on a losing team. He didn't last with us past the bye. So let's just put that out there. That's number one. Number two, Danielle Hunter is the only thing that's derailed or slowed him down is some injuries. He's had injuries along the way. He stayed healthy last year, which is, he and Za'Darius Smith had that in common. I mean, Za'Darius didn't know if he was even going to be able to play again. A little bit with Danielle, too, with the neck issues and some of those other things. You couldn't – I don't think you guys could find a better defensive end for a 4-3 scheme that's out there right now than Danielle Hunter. And, oh, by the way, your new COO, Kevin Warren, is very familiar with, Mr. Danielle Hunter. So, there's some connections there that just go beyond the coaching staff and the scouts and everything else. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if it would be a good choice for him. I think it'd be a good fit, good scheme, and you guys I think would enjoy watching that guy play week in and week out. He's a hell of a good football player. We don't want to lose him.
Are you ready for Justin Fields' reign of terror for the next decade in the NFC North?
Well, with him running or throwing? Because if he starts throwing the football all over down the field, then I'm gonna sit up and take notice. Right now, the guy's just unstoppable. Pulling that thing down. You want to see that young man make that transition to being a great passer, not getting as many balls knocked down at the line of scrimmage, which is another crazy thing that you see. But yeah, you guys have some great pieces. It's just getting that offensive line in front of him figured out and, not making him run for his life. And that's going to make a big difference. And if you can get both Danielle and Dalvin, then you get a little, run game help. The play action pass opens up. Listen to me. I'm simping for the Bears.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are. You want a gig?
This is how bad it's gotten.
Can't take the local out of the boy.
We've gotten enough free agents from you guys, especially in the wide receiver department. So that the Chicago to Minnesota thing hasn't worked as well.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll work better for you guys. I don't know. We'll see.
We don't want Bernard Berrien back. Okay, Pete. we don't. Would you bet on Justin Fields making that leap? Would you bet on or against Justin Fields making that leap?
You know what? I don't know if I can make that bet because I don't know him personally. I don't know him as a player. You know what I mean? I think that the rest of his development is going to be really based on, nobody questions his physical ability, right? I've seen it. He's a freak athlete who's just a little bit quicker and faster than the best athletes in the world, right? He's just that good. I think it's all, the real estate between his ears and how much does he want to become a passer. And, if he doesn't, if he's not dedicated to that and willing to do what's necessary and listen to the right people, I mean, that's a hard thing too to find when you're a quarterback in the league. It's the hardest position to coach. Aren't many people who are really, really good at doing that. But it's a decision that he has to make. I mean, there's nothing stopping him. He can do it. He can absolutely do it. He has that ability. It's just a matter of whether or not he really wants to do that.
Well, Pete, we'll call you when Kirk Cousins starts throwing interceptions in training camp practice and check in again, all right?
I thought you were going to say you're going to call me when you guys trade for Kirk Cousins.
No, that'd be a downgraded quarterback.
Yeah, right. Well, I just wanted to say thanks again for having me on. And Spiegs, I hope that real estate deal, out west is going all right for you. It's right by the old racetrack, right? Right by Arlington, isn't that what you said?
No.
20 acres up there?
It's by the Top Golf.
Yeah, it's the Top Golf off the Carter, Pete.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
all
man.
Right. I thought you pulled a Mayor Daley and, shut down Miggs Field, buy a place, turn it into a casino. I thought we had the second coming of Mayor Daley here with you, but maybe not.
The Chicago way.
You're giving me ideas. I like it.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Hopefully
Pete.
we'll talk in a few weeks. Take care.
Thanks, buddy.
See you, Pete.